not until I started working with the museum had I ever heard of anybody called Thomas Laws. And was really fascinated because through the years, I have been very interested in Black history. So to think that we had a spy, in quotes, during the Civil War was very fascinating. And this year in Clark County all around, the Civil War has been popping at you from every angle. People are all interested in it, but not so much from our point of view, I don't think. I think they're more interested in it from, well, they're still fighting the battle. I just love that documentary I saw one time. I don't care how many times they fight it, they don't win. So I was interested in Thomas Law and how did he get to be a spy and who did he do this for and all that, and looked up information in some Black history books and Columbia Encyclopedia and all that, and they don't really mention his name. But they talk about General Sheridan, who he was a spy for, and General Sheridan was the commander of a volunteer army, and he was doing such a good job with his volunteer army, according to the reference that I looked in, that Grant recruited him. Is that right? I know I've got a lot of historians sitting in here, but Grant recruited him to come and work with the regular army, and he was here in Clark County, and your famous Jubal Early driveway over there in Winchester, General Jubal Early was taken over Shenandoah Valley by a storm, and Grant wanted to know, wanted sheriffs to come here and find what they could do to stop him. So the story is that here in Clark County, General Sheridan heard about this slave who was owned by a lawyer, Richard Byrd, who traveled from Clark County to Winchester 3 times a week selling vegetables and so forth. And I understand that he walked from Berryhill to Winchester with these vegetables. And he had a chance to meet this courtly gentleman, somebody described him as, with the idea that he was to take a message to Ms. Rebecca Wright, a Quaker in Winchester, to find out the resources that General Early had and whether or not it was possible for General Sheridan and his army to overtake him. Now, he went to a teacher, I think she was a teacher. He went to Winchester to find out from her, and I think he went there that morning, and then he went back that afternoon. She had some information, and he brought the message back to General Sheridan in his mouth. In case he was being intercepted, he would be able to swallow what the information was. Now, I talked this about Dorothy, and they keep saying that he had it wrapped in tinfoil. I said, did they have tinfoil? During the Civil War, I kind of doubt that. I don't know, maybe they did. But I'm going to say he put it in his mouth, all right? And he put it in his mouth, and he was
on tobacco leaf. It would have been on tobacco
tobacco
leaf.
leaf, right? That's how full I and brought it back to the swallow. So, as a consequence, General Sheridan got enough information about what early troops and his resources and so forth, that he was to win that battle of Winchester, that particular one, in September 1864. September 19th. Did I do all right? Larry, shaking his head.
I'm just like to nod my head.
Okay, because I agree with you. He's a historian. He's a historian. So there's a display over there that talks about other resistance people right behind Dee Dee's head.
Okay, I'm going to talk about that.
Okay, all right.
Don't leave.
Okay.
Someone may have questions. In addition, Thomas Laws is buried in the Milton Valley Cemetery next door. And for those of you who are going to stay to do the flower strew gravesite. He also has some descendants who currently live in Winchester. Each time we have an event, when we had the Emancipation Proclamation program, I tried to get his descendants to come, but there's a Mr. Noah Laws who lives in Winchester, who is one of his descendants. So that's all about Thomas Laws. We don't really, I see on the program we're allotted 45 minutes, but we really unfortunately don't have 45 minutes of information about him, and that's because our history is not, we don't have our history. I mean, how many of you, when you were growing up, when you were educated in high school, how many of you were told about Thomas Laws? May I see your hands?
Is this the same family, like Sadie Laws
Yes,
that lived on
yes.
Liberty Street? Okay.
And Chris Laws, whose house is across here, that was Thomas Laws' son. The house where Mrs. Edith,
That you talked about. I didn't know there was a Laws in
yeah,
my time. I didn't know there was a Laws.
well, it wasn't in your time, it wouldn't have been in your
Oh,
time.
yeah.
You're a little young for that. Yes,
One thing, there is a plaque about
yes.
in Winchester.
In Win-
Yes,
Yes,
I was right down the street from
it,
me.
yeah, but I didn't know it was there until Laws came last summer from California to do research on his family. He had contacted me and come to the museum, and I took him around to grave sites too. There were ancestors buried in White Post in the cemetery there, and then he's in California. He flew here. He told us there was a plaque here somewhere. So we found it. It's in a very odd place, but
It really
at the
is.
entrance to an auto parking garage.
City parking lot.
Right.
It's just sitting
But that
there.
happened to be the site of
Those are the
The
bank.
one
Her
in
house.
Bowden and Fairfax Lane.
Well, I thought there was one at the bank.
I don't know
in
about
back
that.
of the
Jubal
bank,
Early and, oh, okay. we're
in the
talking
back
the
of
same-
Bank of Clark County.
Jubal Early and
No, that's not true.
Valley.
Yeah, I think that's
It says North Loudon.
North Loudon.
Must have got it
Fairfax.
mixed up. Okay.
Yeah, North Loudon and Fairfax.
And it speaks mostly of the teacher,
Right. This is right.
because that was the site of her home, and it has
Right.
just a nondescript black person.
Yes.
There, you know, not really. I don't know if there are any photos that exist.
Enough photos. But I thought it did mention his name.
The drawings?
The sketcher,
Yeah, James.
the Yankee sketcher, Richard Taylor, sketched, I think he sketched laws, he had some sketches of laws, and with the Yankee officers. He did a sketchbook, he's from Indiana, he was a Yankee soldier.
Oh, where are those? Do you?
Well,
In his book,
there's a book.
James E. Taylor's sketch.
And
Oh.
Case Western University has the sketchbook.
Okay.
And there are three, I think there are three sketches. There's one of him actually passing, or the message being passed to Rebecca Wright there on the porch. And then there's another one of him, I guess, talking to Sheridan. And then there's a third one that's, I think, just his face.
But that may be the only source. The big book on the Third Battle of Winchester just came out, and I gotta go and patch it, I think. It doesn't mention laws, I tried to look them up. Nothing.
Yeah, I found generally most of the information that I found about the Third Battle of Winchester, it mentioned Sheridan and a kindly colored man, but no name. But we know he existed. All right, on to a couple of other